Halo Infinite has finally been revealed, and I want to share my one day later reactions and first impressions. We were shown both a cinematic trailer and a gameplay demo. Starting with the cinematic trailer of the Mjolnir armor being processed, the graphical fidelity of the planet and the station, as well as the characters and particle effects were amazing, and the music with nods to the main Halo theme and message of you, not your armor, must save humanity from extinction made this by far the best part of the entire reveal. The gameplay demo, however, was a bit of a mixed bag for me. I'm going to go over what I liked and disliked, and also some of the questions or concerns that I heard from others and giving my takes on those. So for movement and mechanics, I like the return of sprint, slide, and clamber, as I prefer faster movement and fast-paced gameplay overall for Halo. It doesn't look like thrust has returned from Halo 5. It could be shown in a later multiplayer reveal, however that is unlikely. The grapple, or grapple shot as it's called, seems like it could add a lot of depth and variety to the game, whilst adding to the skill ceiling. So you can grab fusion coils, traverse through the map, perform evasive maneuvers, or simply grab your enemies. And this seems a lot like the grapples in Respawn games like Titanfall 2 or Apex Legends. I don't, however, like the return of equipment, as it adds more randomness and imbalance to the multiplayer, and it effectively pauses the gameplay often. Hopefully the equipment that they feature in Infinite is more balanced than it was in Halo 3. I like a lot of the new weapons as well that they were shown. There are many new weapons in the sandbox that were shown. The new ones were the Commando Tactical Rifle, the Ravager Launcher, the Pulse Carbine, the Mangler Pistol, and the Bulldog Shotgun. It looks like these are not replacements for old versions, and instead this seems like there are weapon classes. So in the demo, when you hovered over a weapon for the first time, you can see a weapon type, an ammo type, and a fire mode under the name of the weapon you want to pick up. So for the Ravager, it's a launcher, it fires plasma rounds, and it shoots in bursts. For the Bulldog, it is a shotgun, it fires kinetic rounds, and it shoots pellet spreads. So I think that there'll be many different shotguns, for instance, and the classic Halo shotgun will just be another type of shotgun rather than the only shotgun. So I'm hearing a lot of people saying, is this the new shotgun or where's the classic shotgun? I think both will be in the game, it's just that there'll be multiple different shotguns. Also, notice how the assault rifle is now called the MA-40AR, as it is probably not the only UNSC assault rifle in the game. Or the sidekick pistol is shown is probably not the only UNSC pistol, and the Magnum, the traditional Magnum, may show up, but I'm not sure. Overall, if these weapons have distinct roles and there isn't a custom loadout system in multiplayer, I will like these new weapons and this new weapon class system. The demo also revealed that this game will be at least partially open world. I am skeptical of this addition. If by open world it means that the missions and the story are linear and always in the same order, but the objectives within each mission can be completed however you want, I am all for this, and it will add some much needed replayability to the campaign. But if the missions can be done in any order, and there are different side quests that you can go on, I think that this will strongly weaken the story. But I do think the former is more likely, because you're still traveling to this mission that we saw in a cutscene as opposed to in-game going to a different mission or any mission you want. I also don't like the idea of upgrading the Chief, but it wasn't shown off, so that's all I can say on that for now. I just don't like the idea of it. Perhaps it'll be something that I'm fine with. Quickly, I also want to go over the art style. It's a hybrid system, which I do like. So there are 343 models and Bungie models in the game. For instance, the Halo 4, Halo 5 Warthog, or the Halo Reach Assault Rifle, and Chief's Armor, of course, is a hybrid. There are also old and new grunts as the different grunt ranks, and this should be one thing that pleases both old fans and new fans. Finally, though, I do want to talk about the graphics, and this seems to be the most polarizing thing from the demo. The cutscenes look great, as I already said, and as do the natural parts from the level, like the foliage, the rocks, or the dirt, etc. And there's also a huge emphasis on wildlife, which makes the Halo ring feel more alive and lived in. However, much of the background looks poorly textured, especially the Halo ring and the square column-like structures on the mountains in the distance. The clouds loaded in mid-game, as well as the grass when you were driving. Some of the weapons and vehicles textures looked flat. The phantoms looked blocky and cartoony, but the enemies were what I disliked the most. They looked very bland and lacked textures and details. The best what I can describe these textures as is plastic. The worst offenders of this are the Grunt's skin, the Jackal's limbs, the Elite's armors, and the Brute's armors and faces. Especially of the Brute in the end cutscene. That looked really incomplete and really underwhelming. Considering how much 343 has discussed and advertised the Slipspace engine, this game should look much better. Fingers crossed these graphics are incomplete due to the pandemic, and this is not near final. The Brute does look like early mocap work, so I do think that it is incomplete, but I'm concerned nonetheless. That's all I'm going to say for now. Overall, I'm cautiously optimistic. Halo fans have waited 5 years for this, and it must deliver. 343 cannot release this game incomplete. It must have plenty of content and be stable and largely issue-free at launch. If they can't do that this holiday, they need to delay it. I'd much rather wait for a complete game than not wait for an incomplete one, especially when the circumstances of the delay are out of their control. But the fact that there'll be a future ray tracing update indicates that this may launch in a non-optimal state and fix it as they go. If they do, that is really going to sting. But for now, all we can do is wait for multiplayer and maybe discover hope. What do you think? What did you like or dislike about Halo Infinite's reveal? Do you think this demo closely resembles the final release, or that it showed an early build and will look much better? Let me know in the comments below, and consider subscribing to be notified every time I upload a new video. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.